here we are, the second part of this segment. We're going to talk about our best takes now. Give ourselves a little credit after eating some crow. There was more crow. Like if we did a scale of crow and credit, this is the crow side, this is the credit side. My scale is like this. Way more crow than credit, but I'm still giving myself some credit. And I can kick it off for us here, unless you want to roll into your audible mention real quick.
No, I was.
Sure.
We'll cap with that, if anything.
I'll start with not really like an insane pool by me, but I had the Jaguars in the playoffs. They did end up doing that. I also had Liam Cohen winning Coach of the Year. He did not win Coach of the Year, but he finished third. He was a finalist. Very happy. I just kind of was on that train from the jump, and they proved me right this season. Very, very happy with that. And the take was largely based on what I believed to be a good coaching hire in Liam Cohen. And I do think that was the large reason for the success. Because if you look at, the defense made a huge step forward. That's also realistically why it was. But a lot of their key pieces didn't necessarily have, fantastic seasons. So we spent a lot of the season going, what is wrong with Brian Thomas Jr.? Doesn't look like he wants to get hit. Travis Hunter didn't really come in and have the splash that some people expected him to. But Trevor Lawrence had a great season. Etienne was very good. That defense was very good. I'm going to give myself some credit for that take.
Yeah. Do you have another best
I
take?
have two more. I can go and give them.
Okay. Well, no, we can move to the next person. I am going to give credit to my pyramid, new segment this year.
Yeah. It cooked.
It was a power ranking segment. It started after watching the first week of the NFL, so no preseason power rankings. Watched week 1, made a pyramid, had our 4 teams left out. We went into the graveyard eventually in week 5 or 6, whenever the Jets Dolphins Monday Night Football game was, which I can't believe they put that on TV. Looking back in hindsight,
should have been rated R, not for children to watch.
Yeah, good thing that was on a school night, a late Monday night too. So the pyramid was 122 and 109 when it came to predicting against the spread. That's 52.81%. For context, for a model or for a betting person to be profitable, betting against the spread on NFL games or just in general, you want to look at being 52.38%. So we were 1 game above 500, which is a profitable model, and that is the stamp of approval for me. But I did the research following the season, and this may be something that we look to next year, which was as a money line predictor, meaning if the model predicted the underdog to cover, if you bet, let's just say $100 on the underdog to win versus if you thought the favorite was going to cover, you bet the favorite to win. How did the model do? The model was superb, excellent, unbelievable, some might say. 11.95 units up, 12 units up, which in betting terms is an excellent season.
So basically every time your model picked a team to cover, if you bet them money line.
If you bet the money line $100 on whatever team I picked to cover the spread, you would have made $1,200 this year.
That is across 16 times 17.
That's across 200-plus games.
Okay.
That's good value.
231 games. We were up 12 units. There were multiple weeks where we had excellent weeks, specifically weeks where if you had bet $100 on every game that I had predicted, you would have made $491, $790, and then $500. But more specifically, in week 9, you would have made $1,281. Ironically, a week where 2 quarterbacks who wear the number 9 won games on the road as 9+ point underdogs, including number 9, Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers winning it at the Green Bay Packers, and 9 himself,
the man,
winning at the
Shout out
Detroit
9.
Lions. Both of them were 9+ point underdogs and won in week 9 for the most profitable week as a moneyline predictor. In fact, making more money than the amount of units I made this season, would have made this season as a moneyline predictor. $1,281 or 12.81 units. So that the pyramid had a great start
Yeah.
to its run, and we'll look forward to next year. As an honorable mention, though, I wanted to give an honorable mention to Jack. His totem pole, which we introduced in Week 14, had an excellent year. I did not do the money line predicting, but you don't have to. If you just did the spread, the totem pole was 44-28 this year for 61.11%, which
That's
is
crazy.
an excellent season.
Shout out the Woodland Shaman.
Next year, we look forward to potentially having a real live totem pole on set.
Yep. I'm gonna be like the Wheel of Fortune girl, like going up and revealing the letters, making my totem pole off on the side.
I
Give
can't
me an
wait for
O.
that. But great
Nobody
years
starts with O.
from both of the Technical Fowls models
Sure.
that we have on set.
So it's a good shout out.
Absolutely.
Sanders.
Yeah, I have two best takes. One of them is the one I'm about to list, and the other one is more stock market best takes. I'll start with my read on the AFC West. I'm very proud of this.
Mhm.
I predicted Chiefs regression. I predicted them to not go 12-0 in one possession games like they did last season. I said they'd be a lot closer to 500. I had in notes for another show what they finished at. I believe it was well below 500. So they
Correct.
had mega regression in 500 games. Like I want to say like 3 wins maybe, something like that. 3-8.
They
3
were
and
bad
7.
in one possession game.
I predicted the Broncos to win the AFC West.
See, not officially. This is a bit of a holdup of mine. You officially had the Chiefs winning the division.
So what happened was I had the Broncos winning it, and then Jerry Jones screwed me. Jerry Jones traded Micah Parsons, and because of the Micah Parsons trade, I ended up having the Chiefs beat the Cowboys when just days before I had the Cowboys beat the Chiefs. And then I had a 3-way tie at 11-6 in the AFC West and stupid tiebreakers. And I still think I'm giving myself credit for this one. I was right. The Chiefs were going to be bad.
I'll give you credit for that.
I was right. The Broncos were going to be good. And I was
Yes.
right. The Chargers were going to be good.
Yes.
I did predict the Chiefs to make the playoffs. I was mistaken about that. I had them going, like I had a 3-way tie in the AFC West for at 11-6. But I give myself credit for predicting the Broncos I was wrong about Bo Nix taking a step forward. I don't think he played leaps and bounds better than he did last year. I think the defense played phenomenally this year and really kind of carried them at times. Bo Nix stepped up in moments. The fourth quarter comebacks that he had.
7 game-winning drives this year, so
Yes, he stepped up in big
which
moments.
is a Geno stat.
Yeah, he did. He just didn't have like a front to back, like coast to coast.
Yeah.
Great season.
Him and Bryce Young, man, they do it different.
Yeah.
Are they game-winning drive merchants? Is that a thing?
It's
We
called
may have to
Super
look into
Bowl
that.
winners.
Have either of them won a Super Bowl?
No,
Yeah.
But-
Will either of them win a Super Bowl?
they might. But yeah, that's my
No.
my best take was I also had the Raiders go 2-15. I was very off on that. They went 3-14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah. Which it came down to the wire. I believe that they end up beating the Chiefs in Week 18. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah,
They
so
beat the Chiefs in Week 18.
That was a great meme on this show for the entire NFL season because JP has them go 9-8 and make the playoffs. I have them go 2-15. Opposite ends of the spectrum as far as expectations go.
They won in Week 1.
Week 1, they beat the eventual Super Bowl
Well, that's what
runner-ups,
I'm-
the New England Patriots.
They were 50% of the way there.
If I just told you, okay, I'm going to, I've seen the future. I'm going to reveal 2 Raiders results from this season. They beat the Chiefs once, and they beat the Patriots, and I'll be like, and the Patriots, go
Go
to the
into-
playoffs and, go on a playoff run. How good do you think the Raiders are going to be this season? And you'd be like, oh, they probably, made the playoffs.
If you told me that they beat the Patriots, who are the 2 seed, and they beat the Chiefs, I'm probably telling you, oh, okay, so the Raiders are the 1 seed, and they got the tiebreaker, and they're the 1 seed, and the Patriots are the 2 seed. That's probably what I'd be telling you.
Nope, they just won 3 games.
I wanted to read some TikTok comments from that because that was one of our TikToks was Sanders saying the Raiders would go 2-15, and that one is up there. It's right behind the Panthers and Saints TikToks in terms of the amount of hate that TikTok got. With 240 likes, Bimp said, "Proof that not everyone should have a podcast."
Appreciate that, Bimp.
Your favorite web designer with 130 likes said, "I will bet you $1 million the Raiders win more than 2 games."
Glad I did not take that bet.
He had to sweat a $1 million bet in Week 18. Sean King said, I bet they voted for Kamala. No clue what that had to do with anything.
That's still not my favorite political comment we've ever had, but we don't have to get into that.
And then another one is, how do you have a job? As if this is our job. So
yeah.
this one got more comments than it got likes.
Yikes!
But it had 14,000 views.
And you were more right than all of them. So
And
congrats.
I
yes.
was, except for the one guy who said that they would have more than 2 wins. He
This
was
is
spot
true.
on.
He actually was. He was
Spot on. They
objectively
did have more than
correct.
2 wins.
I've started responding to a few of those because I just forgot that this was one of those TikToks where we were right and the people were wrong. And maybe you could go back.
Yeah,
and
I may have
respond
to- I may
some
have to go
people
back.
as
Take
well.
a couple victory laps.
Yeah, I may have to.
You deserve credit. I was giving you some grief a couple minutes ago, but you were way more on top of the AFC West than I was and JP were. So congrats to that. I do have some Chargers news for you.
Oh, boy.
Charger center Bradley Bozeman has retired. I feel like that's a huge addition by subtraction for the Chargers.
Yeah. Yeah. This is one of those things where you can't fire me, I quit.
Yes, correct. They said we're cutting you. He said I retire.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I'll
Which,
give it,
honestly, that works out better for us cap-wise, right? Because, like, when you cut people, you got dead cap you have to deal with and stuff like that. Maybe his contract wasn't large enough for
Yeah.
it to matter, but retirement is just off the books, right? So,
True. It's a win-win-win.
maybe we're giving him, like, a advisory position. Hey, if you retire, we'll keep you on staff in an advisory role. You're off
Gave
the
him
books.
a severance package.
We gave you a severance package that doesn't hit the cap. Like,
Sure.
just be done. Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah.
You want to kick us round 2?
Yeah, it's actually going to involve this team right here. JP's team.
JP's ears just perked up.
So I had them going 7-10.
Mhm.
They did not go 7-10. They went 6-11.
Yeah.
But I also only had them winning 2 games pre-bye, and largely, I mean, due to you and your input, was thinking, all of us were kind of on the Spencer Rattler is going to start the season and then probably not finish the season as a starter with Tyler Shuck. So I had them winning 2 games pre-bye and then going on a bit of a winning stretch after. That is indeed what happened. They won 2 games pre-bye and then went on a winning stretch after. So even though I was off the win total by 1 game, with that fact in mind, I feel like I was pretty on top of the Saints. We won't mention who I had winning that division. That is irrelevant. But, yeah, I was kind of all over the Saints.
Yeah, they had a
I mean, the team you
fully
picked to
right
win
there.
it was 1 game away from winning it.
This is true.
The Saints were one. They're actually 2 games away. They were 1 game away
With
from
Tyler
being
Shuck
1
starting
game
the
away.
whole season away from making the
Oh,
playoffs.
absolutely. They would have made the postseason without. That's just kind of without question. But they were 1 more win away from beating Atlanta, and they would have won the 8-9 tiebreaker and been in the postseason. And then I would have, of course, changed my entire narrative on whether or not an 8-9 playoff team, earned their postseason bid.
Naturally.
But that is
It was just a really tough division, man. You
Absolutely.
don't understand.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
grind we had to get through just to get to 8 wins.
super tough schedule, even though it was one of the easiest in the league. But thankfully we finished in 4th place, still at 6-11, and we get that 4th place schedule next year. But shout out the Saints, shout out Jack for his take there. My second one that I wanted to give light to is kind of a three-parter, 3 takes in one.
Okay.
And that is, I had the Chicago Bears, the Seattle Seahawks, and the New England Patriots all making the postseason. The only one on the pod to have any of those 3 teams in the postseason, and I had all 3. Jack and Sanders each did this themselves with 1 team, where they were the only one with that team, and that team made the postseason. Jack already mentioned earlier with the Jaguars. Sanders was just talking about it with the Denver Broncos. So I had 3. That's 3 times as much as you guys. But all 3 of those teams had over-under wins of 8.5. They were right there on the borderline of whether or not they would make the postseason. Again, 9 wins would not have made a wild card spot in either conference this season. All 3 of them were outside on the outside looking in for a lot of people. And I had each of them in the postseason. But more specifically, Seattle I had, and I was all over them by week 3. After they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers and were 1-1, from the week 3 pyramid on, Seattle never went lower than tier 3. They were a tier 2 or above from week 7 on. That's not even midway through the season after a win in Jacksonville. And that wasn't necessarily like the most impressive victory. They won 20-12. They spent 5 weeks as the number 1 team in the regular season. The only reason they were ever not number 1 was because of the Sam Darnold 4-pick game against the Rams, and the Rams were number 1. This is a team I was all over from the beginning. And then I was even more so with the pyramid, showing them respect throughout the season. And slowly the public learned how good that this team was and this defense was more specifically. So while I did not predict this team to win the Super Bowl, I did have them in the postseason. I was all over them as early as anyone could be this year. So that is one of my best takes of the year, in my opinion,
Sure.
along with thinking the Bears and Patriots would make the postseason, although I did not have any of these 3 teams winning the division. I had them all as wild card spots.
Yeah.
No, it's a good call. I mean, you throughout the whole like previews and predictions, you were hammering the what is it, like 6 new teams or whatever make the playoffs.
Yes.
And you definitely kind of made sure you stuck to that more than we did, and you reaped the benefits of it in terms of correct predictions there. So good stuff. You want to give your stock market good takes?
Yeah. I can. I'm pulling that
No,
up
you're good.
now. I was also trying to see. Do you have the notes, JP, on who each of us predicted to win the Super Bowl every week, or like we only did it for like 4 or 5 weeks?
I can pull that up really quickly.
I mean, I just didn't know if there's anything funny there. Since this is the last time we're going to talk about the 2025 season, get it all out. My best takes as far as the stock market goes. Week 8, the stock that we sold or that we traded, Coach Signetti will be at Indiana next season. And as I explained, about the last segment, my criteria was that for this stock, in order for it to be a best take, it had to be something that I was different than the two of y'all. So if I bought, y'all both sold, or vice versa, and then I had to be very right or about it for it to be a best take. Yeah, Coach Signetti's going to be there next year. He just signed an extension, I believe. He's a very well-paid coach now.
He double signed.
Yeah, and y'all both sold that. Y'all both said that he would be out of Indiana,
He made a mistake, man.
out of where is Indiana?
Bloomington.
Bloomington. Thank you. He would be out of Bloomington come 2026. He's not. He's going to be there. So yeah, like I said earlier, even if it's not a great take, it's amplified to be a best take because I'm sitting next to people I was right while they are very wrong. So that makes it a great take by me. Week 8, we bought the stock we traded was A&M is the best team in the SEC. Y'all both bought that and I sold that, and I think I stand by that.
Well, I would argue week 8 we were playing like the best team in the SEC, and was the
reason I think I was right is because prior to Texas, y'all played what? 7 of the bottom 8 teams in the SEC.
I mean, A&M's been catching so much slander from Sanders. these
Marcel,
recent
the
podcasts,
schedule
man.
read.
There's
All
a
I'm saying
question.
is y'all played the bottom 7 teams or 7 of the bottom 8, beat them, and then play Texas, who's in the top half, and lose.
Yeah,
I
true.
feel like it's a hard argument to make to be like, yeah, we're still one of the best teams in the SEC, when you finally play a team who is a better litmus test than the bottom half, you lose.
I mean, we played pre-dead LSU in Death Valley, beat them. We went on the road to Como, beat them. Good success. I would argue
Great
at that
success.
moment we were playing like the best team in the SEC, and we just peaked too early. Maybe that's massive.
But
copium.
it did not. Who's playing? Who's the best team? Y'all bought the
Who is the best team? Not who's
okay,
going to be the
okay.
best team at the end of the
Okay,
season.
okay.
It was very much
Well,
a present-day stock.
I still had it as
Um,
I still have it as a best take, and you can't take that away from me.
Sure.
Because that's the only other best take I could think of. Because I didn't have a lot of great takes that I can remember. I'm sure I'm sure I had a lot of great takes. I just don't remember them. It's too many to name.
I've got one to give each of y'all credit.
Oh, bet.
After week 10, you guys each picked the Seattle Seahawks to win the Super Bowl.
Sick.
Bang.
I, of course, picked the Buffalo Bills every single week except for the first one where I picked the Eagles. Now, do you guys, unless Jack could see it,
I cannot see.
okay, who did you guys have them beating in the Super Bowl post week 10?
The Bills.
No.
Okay. It's not the same team, is it?
You guys each had the same team.
Oh, crap. Week 10. I don't even know what happened in week 10. Was it the Colts? Had they started their slide at that point?
I believe I had was it just the Patriots?
No.
Okay.
I would say I don't think I picked the Patriots to go that far. I know I didn't pick the Chargers, and I know they were in the playoffs.
It must have just been the Colts.
I think it was the
then.
Colts because
It was the Colts.
Okay, I knew it wasn't the Steelers. I knew I didn't have them going
Yeah.
that far. Yeah, I was actually trying to decide if I wanted. I had a great take about the Colts' second half of the season. I had them losing, I think, 7 of their last 8 games, and they ended up losing like 4.
probably-
8. They ended up losing 8 of their last 9, and I had them losing 8 of their last 9. I also had them losing like 3 of their first 7 or something, and they did not do that. I had them going 5-12. So I had the back half of the season right. I just didn't have the front half
You
right.
had PSG, post Sauce Gardner
Yeah.
stretch of their.
I had the
schedule
post Sauce
correct.
Gardner nailed. Which, let's be honest, I mean, my version would have been better for them because then they'd have a really good pick, and then they'd be looking at next year and they'd have Sauce Gardner.
True.
But that's only because I believe in extremes. I'd rather be like.
Well, they wouldn't have a really good pick because they had to trade away to get Sauce.
Oh, that's true. The Jets would have another really good pick.
Shout out
but
Jets.
did you have one other best take?
I had Miami making the College World Playoffs.
Nice, nice.
Which
Yeah.
isn't anything crazy, but if you do think back to the start of the regular season, most people were like, the ACC is probably going to be a one bid league, and that one bid, everyone was like, that's going to Clemson. Clemson's going to make it out. Clemson did not have that kind of season, and Miami did end up making the playoffs.
Mhm.
So I'll give myself credit for
Yeah,
that.
you had him not just in, but you had him as the 6th overall seed for that preseason prediction, which we don't have to get into the rest of
Yeah,
those
me and you
predictions
had
for the
Penn
playoff.
State and Clemson playing each other.
But who didn't at that
Yeah,
point?
I'm about to say a lot of people did. I'm not going to put that as a. I mean, that is a worst take, but it's not one fun to talk about because
Y'all did not go out on a limb making
Yeah.
that take.
Not really,
Let me
no.
say that.
I got 2 more. One of them a little quick one. I had the Lions to miss the playoffs and finish last in the division.
Great take.
Nailed
I'm
it.
correct. They were 9-8. I had them going at one point I think 6-11, but I think it finished 7-10. I just thought the loss of the 2 coordinators would really, really hurt them. Ben Johnson loss didn't hurt them as much. They were still really, really good offensively, but maybe it hurt them a little bit in terms of the play calling in specific moments because there were a lot of games that they just kind of let slip. And they did finish last in the division. They did miss the playoffs. This is a team that in the preseason had a over-under win total of 10.5. It was either 10.5 or 11.5. So they were pretty much a lock to be a playoff team. I had them missing. And then the other one I wanted to give an homage to 3 of my seer college football predictions.
Yep.
College football picks throughout the season. One of them was a text that I sent following the Illinois game in Indiana.
I thought you had to start giving your summer texts of we
No,
will be.
no.
Okay.
Those didn't end up being true.
Yeah,
so-
None of them were true,
No.
actually, sadly. But Indiana beats the brakes off of Illinois. I think it was 62-10 or
I thought it
something
was
like
70-10. I thought they hit 70.
I
It
don't
was
think they
something
hit
crazy.
70, but yeah, beat the brakes is accurate.
Not too long the following week after I sent a text in the chat that I thought Indiana was in a spot where they were going to upset one, if not both, Penn State and Oregon the rest of the year. Both of those games on the road in Happy Valley and in Eugene. Of course, they ended up winning both of those games because they didn't lose a game this year. Now, I didn't think Penn State would be what they would be at that point in the year. But that being said, that prediction was correct. And that leads into my 3 big underdog picks, seer picks of the year. I had Indiana to beat Oregon. When we did that preview, they were 7.5-point dogs. I had Oklahoma to beat Alabama in a game I attended. Oklahoma was a 6.5-point dog. And then I had in the college football playoff Miami to beat Ohio State, a 9.5-point dog. Those are my 3 seer because I literally coined them at the time. I just have a feeling this is a seer call prediction, and all 3 of them are correct. There were a few misses there, here and there. I did pick USC to win 2 games that were on the road at Notre Dame and at Oregon. And both of those, of course, ended up missing. One of them in bad fashion in a game against Notre Dame. Didn't Notre Dame run for 300 yards in that game? Something
like that, yeah.
absurd with Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. And then the Oregon game was close, but it was really just a shootout where one team was 2 touchdowns behind the entire game.
Yeah.
Those were my seer predictions that were correct this year. Some of my best
Cool.
takes.
3 great predictions. I actually do have one more I want to shout out real quick from me. You talking about the superlatives we did for college football
Mhm.
before the season reminded me. I was correct. I had Brent Pry being the first head coach fired.
Yep.
And he was indeed the first head coach fired by like 2 hours.
Yeah, it was. Who was the second?
I think it was.
It doesn't matter. I just
It
couldn't.
doesn't matter, but now I'm just upset. I can't remember.
Was it James?
Yeah, I think he might have just barely beat out James Franklin.
Maybe.
So I'll snuck it in there. I think you had. It was Arkansas's
Yeah.
coach. I
Yeah.
don't remember who you had.
I literally watched it. I should remember this because I literally was watching old stock markets this morning, and we talked about it. I can't remember now. Which, by the
Maybe
way,
it was Mike Norvell is who I had. Maybe.
I didn't think so.
Maybe not.
Just a tidbit. Watching old stock markets is both enjoyable and also not enjoyable. It was fun because it was like, oh, I kind of forgot that's what the college football world looked like at the time. But it's also not because it was hard for me to separate the fact that we weren't just idiots because we didn't know what it's just weird to watch something that ages so like sports. Every sports show is going to age poorly primarily,
Correct.
right?
Especially-
It's not sports podcasts and sports YouTube channels are not a timeless like go back and rewatch it. So you go back and rewatch something from 3 months ago and the entire landscape has changed.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And the way we sold and bought those stocks too, and this is probably some copium, but like it was pretty reactionary in the way we did it. Like we even the same stock would appear multiple times, and so it'd be like, you just
Which
kind of
the
we'd be
early-
riding the waves.
I
of the
will
college
say that,
football
like,
landscape.
I'm really excited. I hope we get to do it again next year because the early season stocks were really fun because everything is so new and so fresh. I mean, we were talking about JKS. We had really fun things like, will 3 Florida teams make the playoffs? 3 ACC teams make the playoffs, stuff like that.
And then by week 10, it's like what do we? Yeah.
What do we sell? Because like everything's like established. Like we know 10 of the 12, or we know like 8 of the 12 teams that are gonna make the playoffs most likely.
Yeah. I felt
we-
that a lot as the person making the stocks.
Yeah,
Like, this is
we
becoming a lot
know
less-
who's probably gonna win the Heisman. We
Sure.
we started to like know a lot more. So hey, maybe we just have more viewers come next football season,
True.
and then we'll get
they can
some
chef
viewer
up
input.
for us.